Welcome back to 3 News at 5. We've got a health advisory to tell you about. It's in effect across Cleveland today as more smoke from Canadian wildfires continues to drift into the region. You can see it when you look outside and look to the north. It's hazy out there. Officials say the city's air quality has reached levels considered unhealthy for sensitive groups.
So, Jessica, I know you've been watching this. This is today?
Wildfires. So this is kind of they're issuing it today, but it's technically for tomorrow.
Could you see it today?
You can still see it. They have
easy.
an arbitrary, like, this is the threshold that we're likely to exceed tomorrow, but we're still so borderline that, yeah, especially if you're in one of those groups, you can still feel it today, especially along the lake shore. We're noticing that they do have air quality alerts for areas of Michigan, Wisconsin, the Northeast, where that smoke's a little bit denser.
Right.
We're gonna have some of that denser smoke kind of heading our way.
This is just
tomorrow.
a recurring issue. We've dealt with this for 2 summers in a row.
There are still over 700 wildfires burning up in Canada. So that's a lot of smoke that is kind of being pushed into the atmosphere. And we've got high pressure in place, which is going to keep us dry this week. But that also means that our air is pretty stagnant. And that means we're not really doing a great job of dispersing that smoke. So that gives us those really hazy skies. We're going to notice that for the rest of today into tomorrow. That is going to mean some interesting sunrises and sunsets. That will be the case for us. Now, as far as that haze is concerned, for right now, it's really kind of densest up closer to the lake shore. Not as abundant the further south you are, especially in terms of noticing with the visibility. As I said, though, there are areas that are worse off than us, at least as far as what we have right now. That smoke is definitely denser up in areas of Wisconsin, Michigan, even parts of the Northeast, and then especially back towards some of those hot spots in Canada where those wildfires are actually burning, so a little closer to the source. But we are going to continue with that haze into tomorrow and possibly even the next few days as that area of high pressure does stay in control. So that area of high pressure means that things are fairly quiet for us. So again, our winds are not very strong to really mix out any of that smoke, but high pressure does mean that we're going to stay fairly quiet in terms of rain potential. Closest rain really off to our west across southern Illinois, Indiana, and that is not going to be a concern for us. We do have some cloud cover that's been pushing our way today, and we'll continue to have some of that cloud cover around for tonight and tomorrow, but any rain chances are really going to be fairly minimal as we go through the rest of this week. Maybe just a 10% chance for a stray shower the next couple of days, and even that is going to be incredibly hard to come by because our dew points are so low. We're just going to be in the 50s. Best chance for rain's really not going to increase until we get into early next week at this point, but we'll certainly keep an eye on that. Tonight, we do stay quiet, but plenty of cloud cover will be around, and temperatures not quite as cool as they've been the last few nights. We only fall back into the lower 60s as we get into tomorrow. We're still going to keep plenty of haziness around, and we will still keep at least a little bit of cloud cover as well. Temperatures will still be a couple degrees warmer. We'll be well into the 80s as we get into the afternoon hours. Notice those winds are still fairly light. So again, there's not really much to disperse any of that smoke around. So we will have those air quality alerts if you're in one of those more sensitive groups. Keep that in mind as you make your plans for tomorrow. We'll pick up that national December hour-by-hour forecast into Wednesday. Low 70s for us to start off. We'll call it a mix of sun and clouds. There is the potential we could still have a decent amount of haze out there on Wednesday, depending on how our wind direction ends up. Temperatures make it into the 80s through the afternoon. Again, nothing more than really just a 10% chance for a stray shower over the next couple of days. Most of us are going to stay dry as we go through the rest of the week with that Medina Country Club extended forecast. Temperatures will be slowly increasing. We're back into the mid to upper 80s for the rest of the week, close to 90 at times as we head towards the weekend. And again, we're going to hold off on any chance for more widespread shower and storm activity until at least the first part of next week at this point.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Jessica.